Ladies and gentlemen, the day has finally arrived where I get to talk about one of the most highly requested and recommended things to watch that has ever been recommended on my channel before. We are here today talking about Astartes, which is an animated short fan film from a man named Syama Pedersen. The recommendation to watch this YouTube fan film came from one of my most popular videos that I have ever made since I started doing YouTube 4 years ago. 3 weeks ago, I made a video titled How Secret Level Just Converted Me into a Warhammer 40k Fan, a video detailing my reaction to the Warhammer 40k episode of the new Secret Level show on Amazon Prime Video, a TV show which is an anthology series giving short stories to multiple different video game franchises. Little did I know, that video was destined to blow up and get me more involved into the world of Warhammer 40k. So many people tuned into that video, commenting their passion and love for the brand, teaching me about stuff, along with a handful of recommendations for me to go and search for stuff that would help me get more into this world. Syama Pedersen, who worked on Astartes, just so happened to also have worked on that episode for the Secret Level show. It was the perfect connection for me to go and watch this, especially given just how many of you recommended it in the comment section for that video. So today, I am going to analyze Astartes and break down why it is peak visual storytelling. To any and all Warhammer fans watching this video, which of the two did you like the most? The Secret Level Warhammer episode or Astartes? If you like both equally, that's totally fine as well. Just let me know down below in the comments. Alright, so with that long intro out of the way, let's just jump right into it. So the film follows the story of a small group of space marines from the Adeptus Astartes, the superhuman warriors of the Imperium of Man. By the way, if I mispronounce anything in this video, I sincerely apologize. I suck with names. Basically, the gist of what I got from this fan film is that it follows a group of these space marines as they are on an infiltration mission to recover some form of technology that I am not even going to try to misunderstand the lore of, because I know you all will do that for me in the comments as far as teaching me about what all this stuff is. Based off what I read online, one of the main aspects of where this film gets its popularity from is that it depicts the true form of the Space Marine, showcasing their immense strength, tactical proficiency, and the brutal nature of their style of combat. Along with that, based off so much of what I read online from the Warhammer fans, its other goal was to depict the universe's dark and oppressive tone, showcasing the heroic yet tragic nature of these kinds of characters. The high-quality animation capturing the power and scale of this world, its action, and this particular storyline, I think, is ultimately where it succeeds the most, where I found it to be very well made. The only two critiques that I was able to find within it is that at times the animation is a little stiff, and that it's probably at no fault of what Syama had at his hands to use in order to make this film. On top of that, I wasn't a big fan of whenever the film would go to a black screen for several seconds and then return back to another scene. I like when films or shows can continuously go without any of that kind of stuff interfering, but I would assume some of you will explain to me why this was done in the comments if there was a reason for it. I watched the film on the channel The Koch, where it's the most viewed video, so I'm not sure if this YouTuber made some edits within its version to cut it up. Other than that, I really enjoy this, and where it is at its best is how it communicates storytelling to us, the audience. This is why I titled the video the way I did, because in most cases, the reason a lot of good filmmakers make the great films that they do is because a lot of storytelling can be derived from the aspect of a classic phrase that you've heard many times before, which is show and don't tell. It's an aspect of storytelling which seemingly is something a lot of people nowadays like seeing more often than if it was the opposite. Nowadays, not a lot of people are as on board with the whole exposition form of storytelling, where every single piece of information can be dumped out for you to listen to in the most boring way possible that doesn't allow for people to get as interested in whatever they're watching. Most audiences like to be actively involved themselves without the need of characters basically giving it all away at once, and in a way where it makes it feel like the audience is not going to be able to pick up on certain beats of the story. Astartes throws that all out the window, and if I'm correct in saying this, I don't think there is a single word of dialogue in this entire thing. I've watched it twice over, and it just solely relies on the usage of visual storytelling to tell you what is happening. It throws you right into the action and just lets it play out for you to where you are very easily able to figure out what's going on. Although, the only thing you don't know is which side is good and which side is bad. You would assume the Space Marines are probably 9 times out of 10 the good guys, but based on just several things I've heard from people within the community say, is that there are no good guys. You're just sitting there, taking it all in with this action that transpires between the Space Marines and this other group of enemies of theirs, and you are just immersed in how well animated it is. Again, it's just visual storytelling doing everything for you, and for a lot of people, that's enough to get them even more interested in it. Secret Level did something a little similar, where there wasn't a whole lot of dialogue for the most part, and it was just a lot of action on display. But between both, even though one has just a little bit of dialogue and the other one does not have any at all, it's still grounded through that aspect of storytelling that, by limiting the dialogue, this fan film is able to maintain the tone that it's setting. The visual scale of these Space Marines that we are following is enough to speak volumes through their actions, rather than if they were just expositing all of what was going on in the mission beforehand. I have a personal saying when it comes to these kinds of things, and I'm curious to see what you all feel about this, but it goes like this. You don't develop characters through endless exposition. You develop them through conscious conversation. Now, in this case, there's not a whole lot of conversation going on, but the point I make about bringing that saying of mine into this discussion is that there isn't any mindless exposition happening. By limiting the dialogue, it is also allowing the audience to understand it in a way where they can ask questions. Astartes isn't dumping it all out for you as if you were watching a high school slideshow presentation in science class. One of the best things that a filmmaker can ask of is if their audience wants to learn more about what they watched. One of the key mistakes of writing dialogue is if you write it to where it is excessive in exposition. This would potentially lead to the audience feeling disengaged, or if it's, say, too on the nose or lengthy without adding any emotional intrigue, then that would also potentially bore the audience. A good actor or voice actor can only make dialogue sound as good as it seems depending on how well or not well written it is. Thankfully, Astartes doesn't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff, but in this point of the video, I thought I'd just give a breakdown as to why I explain it that way to where it correlated to how well the story is told through not having dialogue. So to bring it back to the visual aspect of the storytelling, visuals can definitely take you very far if you make it appealing for people. I think one of the things that has become lost within the film industry in recent years is the usage of imagery. I've noted before that specifically you find that to be lost in the horror genre, but in general, you don't see a lot of imagery-based films that rely on that kind of stuff to help tell their story other than just having dialogue. A very good recent example of something like this is the Dune movies from Denis Villeneuve. He has been open about how he's not a huge fan of dialogue and likes when movies can just be about visuals and imagery to help tell the story. In some cases, he's correct, and in others, he might not be, because you do still need dialogue at the end of the day. But something like Astartes pushes the boundaries of giving you a rare example of when having no dialogue at all can work wonders. Now, the last aspect of this analysis video that I want to speak to revolves around connecting it back in with Secret Level, because of course, that's where I got this recommendation from to watch Astartes, and it's also where you can find a more updated look on how the creator of Astartes might get a shot at doing more of this stuff in the future. He helped to make the Secret Level episode for Warhammer 40k. It's almost like you can say that the Secret Level episode was his version of Astartes if he was given the proper tools to make a much more bigger story that he had envisioned to create all those years ago when he had lesser tools on his hands to make it in the first place. To all the Warhammer 40k fans out there watching this video, I want to ask you one simple question here now. If you had to choose, would you rather get all your Warhammer storytelling be told through this style and media format of animation, or would you want to see it in live action instead? The reason I ask this is because, as far as we know, the only thing coming out in the near future that Warhammer will get as far as a movie or television show goes is the live action series from Amazon Prime Video under the watch of Henry Cavill, who will be a producer. Henry Cavill is a longtime diehard fan of Warhammer, but something I've seen online that has people very worried is that it is live action. What comes with live action normally are heightened budgets, a potential excessive use of CGI given the kinds of things you see in this world, and also you might see that they'll move off the more dialogue-less aspect of storytelling that you see in Secret Level and with the Astartes fan film. Do you like seeing this world depicted more in animation, or do you want to see them give it a shot in live action? If it was me making the decisions, I probably would give Warhammer an entire animated show using the animation style of what Secret Level did. It looks crisp, and you don't have to worry about overly budgeting your action sequences with CGI and whatnot. Just given many of the things that I've seen be displayed in this world, I find it hard to believe that you'll be able to pull off a lot of it by using practical effects. I'm sure there are some things that might work well on practical effects, but others would definitely require a whole lot of CGI and green screen elements. It's just some food for thought now that I've gotten the chance to experience all this crazy stuff from Warhammer, which I believe has now fully ingrained me into wanting to become a bigger fan of this world and this entertainment IP. Finally, if anyone can tell me, why has there been no posts on the official Astartes YouTube channel lately? I'd assume it's because Syama has been working on Secret Level, but is there something else that he's been doing along with that? Please do let me know, because I want to keep following his work. But there you have it. That's my commentary on the Warhammer fan film Astartes. Thank you to all those who recommended this to me if you're watching this video. I can't wait to nerd out with all the fans again in the comments like last time. What do you all think? Leave your comments down below and let's have a nice and respectful conversation about it. This is one of the nicer fan bases that I've gotten the chance to talk to, and so please keep it respectful in the comments. I don't want to see any gatekeeping, or you will be removed. Thank you for stopping by my channel. If you want to see more moving forward from me with regards to film and television and you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you are new here and turn on that notification bell. I'm trying to build a community on here and your support would be greatly appreciated. That's a wrap, folks. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you all soon for the next video.